In January, we did my annual 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance program where we looked at one thing you could do each day. Well, we're back with the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. In the chaotic world of 2025 and beyond, compliance will become even more important, and you staying on top of your game will help your company move forward. Today on the Compliance Tip of the Day, we consider corporate leaks and what it means for compliance culture and a chief compliance officer going forward. Today's Compliance Tip of the Day comes from the Compliance Into the Weeds podcast that I do each week with Matt Kelly. We posted today's episode on Wednesday, March 19th. So for a fuller explanation of this topic, check out Compliance Into the Weeds for March 19. This comes to us asking compliance officers to think about leaks in two dimensions. The first is the practical headache of how leaks might complicate an ongoing investigation. To combat this threat, you need to consider such steps as encryption, data access controls, monitoring systems to log in to who has access to the data at all times, perhaps even non-disclosure agreements. That's certainly one part of the problem with leaks, but the second part is leaks as a reflection of a speak-up culture. Facebook is probably the most known right now for having recently fired 20 people for leaking gossip about the company. They were told to stop making leaks, and of course, what did they do? They leaked that. Leaks are evidence of a very toxic culture. When management tells employees not to leak something, those employees leak the thing itself or leak that management told them not to leak. Obviously, dysfunction abounds. Corporate culture is riddled with distrust and leads to toxicity. If you don't want to create an environment where employees leak, then start by cultivating a corporate culture based on trust. Your hotline is an important part of that, but it is a respected part and a trusted part that will get employees not to believe that their only option is to leak going forward. So what are some of the practical tips? Well, first, you can implement technical measures to keep investigative files and other confidential data source. This is the encryption of data. Second, consider the weaknesses in your investigative processes that might drive an employee to leak. For example, the longer an investigation takes, the more likely it is an employee who first raised that matter might leak it. Training and policy attestations are another process that can be refined to help quell leaks. Employees should receive at least some training on keeping confidential matters secret, and those who are at higher risk, more training. What about an important communications angle? The word leak itself is considered a buzzword or could convey a loaded term that you may not want to use. So a leak carries a sense of secrecy and betrayal that employees should avoid, and ethics and compliance officers might be better suited by using or stressing the importance of confidentiality going forward. So what are today's three key takeaways? Number one, leaks as indicia. Leaks are an indicia of a broken corporate culture. Number two, if you have leaks, you need to work towards reforming your corporate culture. And number three, report. Report up. You need to report to senior management that leaks are occurring. Whether they like it or not, they need to know that as a part of their responsibility in setting the proper tone for your corporation. This episode, and you'll join me again tomorrow on the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The Compliance Tip of the Day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network. Finally, this podcast contains promotional materials.